The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it is a terrific Tuesday edition of Mick Shots inside the SWBC podcast studio as the Cowboys turn their attention towards the playoff-bound Arizona Cardinals. Playoff-bound but reeling Arizona Cardinals taking on the rolling playoff-bound Dallas Cowboys on Sunday at AT&T Stadium. Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola on this one of the anniversary of one of the greatest days in Cowboys history.
December 28th.
December 28th, 1975.
Oh, yeah. Come on, guys. You don't know that one? Give me a break.
The Hail Mary. Roger Staubach to Drew Pearson. So there you go.
That's right, man.
Hail Mary. So that's 25, 46.
That lets you know I was bound.
46 years
I was
ago?
bound to be a
46
Dallas
years
Cowboy.
ago today.
That lets you know I was bound to be a Dallas Cowboy.
What did you do when that play happened?
Man, I told you, that was my birthday. My mom was in there making a cake. And, boy, when he caught that pass, I was so freaking happy. I came skipping into the kitchen. Mom, the Cowboys just won the game. She's like, oh, okay, that's great. Whatever.
I'm just trying to remember if I actually was watching the game on TV.
I was dying.
You had to be watching the game on TV. There was no other game on TV.
It was a playoff.
It was a wild card playoff game.
Yes.
Yeah, but I might have been working.
It was 1975.
Games. That was my first year out of college.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Missouri wasn't in a bowl game.
I was.
Yeah, well, he was in Chicago.
No, I was working in Anderson, South Carolina.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was somewhere Mississippi. Yeah, he was somewhere down there.
I was shocking.
A place where Italians are just revered all the time.
No, yeah. Let me tell you how many
Back
times.
in 1976.
How many times I was called Yankee down there. And you might as well go back home, too.
Right. You should have adopted an accent,
They
man.
didn't appreciate me one bit down there.
Some things that have
They knew you were Yankee by the way you just typed your word.
I think one of the first interviews on the phone I did with some coach, and they was telling me, it was a high school deal, and they were telling me what league they were in. And it was the Palmetto League. I had never heard of a palmetto tree in my life.
No, I don't.
Right? I was like, what? And they go, Palmetto.
What family is it in?
What's
Is South Carolina the Palmetto State?
It might have been. I didn't know.
No, it is not.
There is a Palmetto State, though.
Is it really?
There is
somewhere. So is it like a magnolia tree?
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
And I got when I didn't ask him, could you spell that? He goes, where are you from?
Yeah, one L or two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Golly.
All right, I'm having to look up the
Palmetto.
Can you spell it? Yeah.
South Carolina.
It is.
It is the Palmetto State. Wow. So that was the reason the conference was the Palmetto Conference.
And I did learn it. Yes, real quick.
That's cool. Learn something new every day.
And I also learned that the Civil War was still being argued about, too.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
And still being fought in some quarters.
Yes.
All right,
man.
it is a Tuesday, December 28th.
So were you watching it?
Of course I was watching it. Of course I was.
Was it a Sunday?
It was a Sunday.
It was?
Okay.
Yes, it was.
All right.
Church was done by then?
I don't think I went that day.
Yeah.
Because I was watching the game.
Yeah.
I was watching the whole game. And Mom was making the cake, and I remember it was the Vikings used to
Speaking of cakes.
Speaking of
cakes,
Hey,
you thought we had forgotten it was your
Cupcake.
birthday today.
Not cake, but
That's
cupcake.
Right. Cupcakes.
There you go.
And in
Come
fact,
on,
there
man.
they
Look
are.
at Chris. Hey,
Count them up.
Chris.
Count them up. How many
All right.
cupcakes are there? Count them.
There's 11. Why?
11.
Cupcakes. Here we go, guys.
Don't catch the microphone on fire.
Right? That alcohol might catch fire. Here you go, guys. Good job. Thank
All
you,
right.
people.
You going to make a wish?
I am going to make a wish.
Are you going to sing happy birthday?
Hold on.
I don't sing.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. You made your wish?
I did.
All right. You got to get them all. There you go. You got one more. There you go.
Please, I'm so glad they didn't. God.
That's what I was worried about. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, that is.
Oh, that came back. It's one of those candles that doesn't
we're
blow
gonna
out.
get this done. Right?
There you go.
Put that over there before the water comes.
You know
down.
why I bought those? Because they were supposed to be sparkle candles.
Well, yeah,
And they weren't sparkling.
We do
they
have
were flaming.
We do have a sprinkler system
Yeah,
down here.
you gotta be careful.
Good thing the door is still
Thank
open.
you guys, man. I really
Happy
appreciate
birthday.
that.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you very much. I appreciate it. 62, by the way, if anyone's
62.
asking. 62 years old.
Good thing we didn't have 62 candles.
Thank God.
Wouldn't
man.
go do that.
But that's why I knew I was bound to be a Cowboy.
That day.
That
sealed it for
day.
you. Growing up in Hamilton Park.
I died with every loss. I know you did too. Remember the
sure.
Vikings used to kick our butts before that day.
So
the Vikings owned us.
Still high school then.
I was 16. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I was a junior in high school.
Yep.
And I hated the Purple People Eaters because they would kick our butts every time. And this was the time we finally got.
You know, it kind of end the reign of the Vikings.
It did.
It did.
It sure did. Because
they
before
kept
that
going
was
to
Chuck Foreman and all those guys, Fran Tarkenton, and they had talent on that team.
They kept going to the Super Bowls
It kept losing them.
and kept losing them too.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Buffalo, but
Yep.
Well, hell, 4 is 4. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on if you're a Vikings fan or not.
right.
Well,
So good.
so that's a good way to kick off the show.
Oh, man, I
right?
still feel the sulfur in my nose. That's pretty cool.
All right, Mickey. So what do you got? Oh wow, you got a legal pad full of stuff. You got papers strewn across the table in front of you.
So today's
Where do you like to start?
Today's the first day that teams without head coaches can ask for permission to interview assistant coaches in the league. And it's being reported that Jacksonville has asked permission of the Cowboys for Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore. And also have asked permission for Doug Peterson, Todd Bowles, and Byron Leftwich. Well, they don't have to ask permission for
Peterson.
They just want to interview him.
Right.
And I think they already brought him
Because
in for an
Peterson didn't have a
interview.
job.
Right.
Right.
And then Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich.
Both at Tampa Bay.
Right. So that's kicked off the start. Who's the other team? There's two teams already fired their coaches.
It was Jacksonville and God, who's another?
The Raiders.
The Raiders. That's
Oh
right.
yeah, of course the Raiders.
Well, I don't know. Basacci is going to get him in the playoffs. He may
They're looking good.
He may earn that job. Can they interview? They have to
So-
interview-
So
Okay,
if
so now
Dan,
what's-
if Dan goes, do we have any of Dan's disciples that can remain?
sort of. And I'll get to that. And so Quinn was asked about it on Monday, and his response was, "I'll be ready if the right scenario presents itself. I wasn't coming here to look what my next job would be. I wanted to come here and have a blast and hopefully kick ass and make an impact."
Well, he's doing that.
So, and then Kellen Moore's response on Friday, if the opportunity shows up, that would be awesome. But we've got a lot to take care of with this thing here first. So, what you would expect the coaches to say. Mike McCarthy, the head coach, it's definitely well-deserving, and they're ready. So you embrace that, basically, opportunity. I think these jobs are hard to get. So that was his response on Monday during his media session.
Okay, and so now what is the process if they want to interview them? When can they interview them?
So I read
Because the process used to be that we had to wait until after the
Right.
season.
New rule this year.
Right.
And I one of the reports said that for the Cowboy coaches it was going to be virtually. So
Okay,
not
that
flying
makes sense.
somebody in to get them away from what's going on.
Another thing that's come from the pandemic where you can
Right.
just Zoom an interview and do something face to face.
Right. Yeah.
And so they can do that as early as this week. I mean,
start today if they get permission, because today's the first day you.
Well, I think we're going to put a game plan in today, so we're not going to approve that today. But once the hay is in the barn, as they say, maybe Friday, I think we'll approve that. What do you think?
So it said that they're allowed to ask for permission in weeks 17 and 18 of the season.
And then they can.
It didn't say anything about week 19 then.
Because the way the rule has been for a team,
it's got to still.
Well, I mean, if you're in the
and
playoffs,
right. To that point, what the rule has been here most recently is a team that had a bye in the first round of the playoffs, they could interview, and an assistant coach could interview during that week. And then, but once it got to game week, they were, and so now what they've changed on the rule, these last 2 weeks of the regular season, they're going to give them permission to interview for the jobs, and then they can focus on the task at hand.
And you would only have one team that would, I mean, with the old rule, you would have more possibilities, right? Because there's more teams with buys. Now with only one team with a bye.
Yeah, which is that would be another reason why they would relax that rule.
Cut down the candidate field.
Now, I didn't hear Dan Quinn's press conference yesterday, but I did see a tweet about that, something that he said about he wishes they would tweak the rules as far if an assistant coach got the head coaching job elsewhere. Moving on to that new position quickly. Did he say something about that?
I don't.
Okay, maybe he did.
I don't recall.
Okay.
Like he wants to, or he
no, not for him personally.
Right.
But that for the rule that a coach could go ahead and take on his new job before he's done here.
Like in college.
Yeah. For instance,
getting ready for the bowl games or something.
An assistant coach, especially Joey McGuire at Baylor, he was the assistant head coach, and 3 weeks left in the season, he got the Texas Tech job, and they let him go at that point.
Yeah,
there was nothing said. There was nothing talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that would be like quitting and taking a college job before the season's over.
Mm-hmm. Which happens all the time.
No, it happened.
It happened here.
Which I don't understand.
No, that was.
It happened here,
Yes.
and it was with the blessing of this organization.
Glad you pointed.
So in other words,
out.
they booted him on out. They showed him the door.
I think they pulled some strings to get him the job at Oklahoma. Yes.
Okay.
But remember, we talked a week or so ago about Atlanta, right? With who was it? Went to Arkansas.
Oh, Bobby Petrino.
Bobby Petrino.
Right.
Left his staff high and dry after being there.
And Zimmer was on that staff, and he's still hot over that.
If you ever look up that interview on YouTube, it's a good one because he let him have it the next year because he was in Cincinnati.
Okay, you know, at the college level, there's a real, especially with that early signing day.
Yeah.
There is a real reason why a coach needs to get to his college job.
He can start to recruit. He
can recruit immediately, and that's why we saw this year the colleges making firings during the regular season and basically hirings during the regular season so that their new coach can hit the ground running recruiting. From an NFL standpoint, what is the advantage? I mean, outside of just preparing, and studying your new roster and being at the Senior Bowl and so forth, what is the advantage of going on to your new job?
Because, well, I would think you want to start putting your staff together.
Right, that would be one.
But if guys still are under contract,
they might still be working as well on other teams.
That would be the main reason.
Right.
But if you had, like, for instance, at the college level right now, this week, Dan Lanning is the new head coach at Oregon.
Right.
Okay, and he's been announced as the new head coach at Oregon, but he is staying as the defensive coordinator at Georgia because they're playing in this playoff, and he is going to be calling the defense.
That's unusual.
On Friday.
That is very unusual
for the Georgia Bulldogs in their national semifinal game. And so can you
there's no reason for the NFL to
What's that, Chris?
I said OU also has a few guys that are coaching in their bowl game and then going to go out to USC, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's what you should
But usually they're
I think
gone.
I think they're gone. We don't
Well,
want them. We don't want them around.
I'm going to forget his name. Your former quarterback at OU that left Missouri as the offensive coordinator.
Josh Heupel.
Josh Heupel.
He was at Tennessee,
He
head
did
coach
that
at Tennessee.
before Missouri played their bowl
Oh,
game
yeah, and that happens all the time.
And he took the tight end coach with
Right.
him. No, he took the other coach with him. And so a tight end coach who had never called plays became the offensive coordinator
Right.
for the bowl game.
How
do you think that bowl game turned out?
It didn't turn out too well.
Didn't turn out very well.
You know what happened when Cliff Kingsbury, who now the Cowboys playing the Arizona
But he went to
Cardinals
Southern
this week.
Cal first, right?
But he went from Texas A&M. He was the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. Johnny Manziel was his quarterback, and he got the Texas Tech head coaching job. He left before A&M played Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl, and he basically the assistant coaches were running the show, and it was Clarence Shellman, who was a running backs coach, who's calling plays, and a GA by the name of Riley Dodge, who was helping him call plays in that Cotton Bowl, which was a lopsided blowout win for Texas A&M over Oklahoma. It worked out really well for them in that game. But to your point, Everson, this Dan Lanning staying on at Georgia and already being actively the head coach at Oregon is very unusual. And the only time they do it at the college level is if you're in the college playoff.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
there's
true.
These other bowl games are
But I can't see when you talk
games.
about a head coaching job. When is the Senior Bowl being played? Is it before the Super Bowl?
Yes.
It's last
towards
week
the end
in
of
January.
So that's why, as a pro coach, you kind of want to be in position with your new team at that Senior Bowl if your team's not in the
Right.
playoffs.
Or you need permission to go down there. Although, you know what? For the Senior Bowl, and one of the important things there is the in-person interviews
Of
you
course.
can set up. But the practices, you can get them on tape.
But that's not why you said, they go there to talk to the kid.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can send the scouts there, and they do a really good job.
You think so?
They get in the way of the media after the practice sessions.
So they're doing a good job there because they're in your way.
Okay, so let's look at it at this situation. Let's say whether it's Jacksonville, Las Vegas, whoever it might be, they decide they want to hire either Kellen Moore or Dan Quinn as their head coach, and they make that decision by January 12th, which is before the playoffs start. Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn, they are not leaving this job until it is seen all the way to the end, and hopefully that would be all the way through the Super Bowl. Even though, so it could it be announced that they are the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars on January, whenever that decision is made,
stay with the
still
team.
stay with the Cowboys all the way to the end,
and trusting both sides, trusting that the guy
as opposed,
does both at the same time.
As opposed to what happened with SMU and TCU this year. TCU had their opening on Halloween. They basically a week later decided they were hiring the SMU head coach, Sonny Dykes, as their coach. And SMU had a lot to play for. They did not play well down the stretch.
They did not.
In fact, they lost, I think, their last 3 games or 4 of the last 5 or whatever. And then after the SMU season was over, they went ahead and made the announcement that Sonny Dykes is the new head coach at TCU. The
season's over, though.
The decision had already been made
Gotcha.
before that, but it was never announced. So I'm wondering, will the NFL handle it differently and go ahead and make the announcement, or it will
How
just
do you
be a
keep something
given?
like that secret these days?
You can't. Yeah. It wasn't a secret
It wasn't.
with Sonny Dykes
Exactly.
either. Yeah. They tried to make it seem like it was a secret.
The truth is like water. It'll find its own level.
All right, and speaking of the truth, okay, before we go to this break, I want to clarify on the Minnesota Vikings, because I said that kind of the Hail Mary kind of ended their run. Well, actually, it did not kind of end their run, because the next year they lost in the Super Bowl in 1976, and then they lost in the conference championship game in 1977. Let's see.
Who might have
beat that against? So that was the win.
There you go.
That is the run. The
yes.
Cowboys on their way to a Super Bowl win over the Denver Broncos. All right, more Mick shots in just a moment.
Good save.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events.
Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, yo quiero guacamole.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Mick Shots.
Dak Prescott is the Cowboys nominee for the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognizing NFL players for outstanding community service activities off the field and excellence on the field. Help Dak earn a $25,000 donation to his Faith Fight Finish Foundation by voting on Twitter. Tweet hashtag WPMOY challenge followed by Prescott through January 17th. Vote Dak.
Nice. That was perfect.
All right. You got much more. You know, we didn't get to a whole lot on Sunday night's game because we dwelled so much, and rightly so, on the 11 interceptions. And we talked to Marcus Lawrence some in yesterday's show. Any other nuggets from Sunday night?
I got one.
And I got one, so go.
Let me go first.
We'll let the birthday boy
Thank you, sir.
have the floor.
First drive.
Yes.
Our last third down play.
I was just going to bring that up.
What the heck, man? What are we doing?
Was
that planned?
That was a great design.
You know, I was thinking about that driving in. That's amazing that you said
crazy
that. I was going to present it. What was the worst play from the game on Sunday
But it could have been the best play,
It would have
though.
been if he didn't drop the ball.
Here's the amazing thing about that, in my opinion, is the week before. Have you ever seen that play?
I have not.
I want to say I have.
The week before, the New York Jets ran that same play. And I don't know if it was an end-of-game scenario, but I saw a tweet, and I retweeted it at the time when I saw it the week before, and actually passed it on to a friend. Braxton Berrios was on the – I think he was in the Amari Cooper role on the receiving end of the pass from another player, and he has some family that live here that we know. And so I passed it on to them. Hey, Braxton made a play. He also had a kickoff return for a touchdown this week. But anyway, it was amazing because I saw that play, and then the Cowboys basically ran the same play, and I was like, now, is he ad-libbing? No, Amari was set up out there.
He was
waiting on it.
He didn't move.
So I'm sitting there wondering, do these play callers in the league, do they text each other and, hey, look what play I ran this week?
No, they're trying to hide it, but then Kellen saw it.
Right.
That must have been what happened because
I'm sure he did.
You could not only was Amari waiting, I think I saw CD blocking. Mm-hmm. I saw CD blocking.
After he pitched it?
After he pitched it. And he was blocking the guys away from the sideline because Amari's on the sideline. CD was blocking to shield them from the sideline.
Like inside.
He's pushing them back inside. Now, that's not where you want them because that's where Cedric was going.
But it's is it an option play for the receiver? Okay, because Cedric had a decision to make. He was approaching the first
down. He had about 5 yards to go.
And he had some players in his way.
They were waiting on him.
I understand understood the decision that, okay, I can't get there, I'm going to go ahead. But I would imagine he has that option.
That's what it was. It was like an RPO.
That's right. It was an RPO in the middle of the field, downfield,
or judging from what he didn't do on the fake punt against Washington last year, they probably told him, pitch the thing, don't hold on to it.
But
he did a great job.
Judging by the reaction, just the body language of the head coach on the sideline, it looked like the head coach would have preferred he'd go ahead and try to get that first down.
Oh, no, I thought his reaction was, God, we set up another good play and didn't
That's
execute.
what I'm thinking.
Right.
Catch the ball.
Okay.
Yeah. He was like that because he dropped the ball. But if he catches that ball, man, we're looking like geniuses.
And he had to make sure the pitch was behind.
Sure.
And it was.
Got to be a backwards pass.
It was.
Did Cooper have to turn to catch
No,
it? It was right to him,
It was
right?
behind.
The pitch
that's what I mean. It went. It was a lateral.
Yeah,
it was a lateral.
right.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
definitely.
But I was trying to remember if it was behind Cooper. Did he have to turn, or was it in front of him where he could catch it?
That thing,
you saw
it hit. He just pivoted.
Yeah,
it hit him here.
Right.
And I don't know.
But he had a lane up the sideline.
Yeah, he's too busy looking.
Yes.
I think he was excited.
Yeah,
You don't
it's
catch
like,
Cooper
this is
excited.
going to work.
So yeah, that's my.
Okay,
I guess we all had the same beef.
I realized we forgot to talk about that.
That was yours?
Crazy.
Yeah, that was it.
Because that was the only really mistake that they made the entire game. That's all I saw. If you're going to nitpick, then that's how that first drive culminated. And that's not what we wanted in that regard. So after that, no hiccups at all. And of course,
Was
the Diggs
it
interception.
a perfect game otherwise? Can you? They only had 3 penalties for like 15 yards.
Did we have a fumble or any turnovers?
Here's what I saw. After they punted on that first possession, it was touchdown, 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 touchdown.
I love that.
Now one of them was the interception return,
Pick six.
the
And
pick six.
then you start the second half, and there was a 3 and out.
Right.
And then it was a touchdown on the special teams.
And touchdown on the special teams, yes.
And then
it's tough to nitpick.
Dak is kind of out after that.
But yeah, so I think one of the things we probably didn't talk enough about was Zeke was running like Zeke.
Although the numbers don't reflect
No,
it.
they don't, but the touchdown run did. The fact that he got into the clear on the touchdown reception where it was a play fake, he went into the line and veered out, and he was running well. So that means and I made a point of this, I think, 2 weeks ago, that other than Pollard's 58-yard touchdown run, they just don't run the ball in the end zone, especially in the red zone.
Yes.
And now in consecutive weeks, he's got a 13-yard touchdown run and an 11-yard touchdown run. And he finished it off diving for the pylon.
That was a great. I can't believe.
So
they
whatever
tried to
that
mark
knee
him
brace,
down.
that knee brace is doing, it's working.
And he caught a pass. And he caught a pass, too.
Right.
Yeah, in the red zone.
Yes.
So we were clicking in the red zone. We were clicking all the way around.
6 for 6 in the red zone.
That's right.
After 3 of 13, was it? Or 3 of 11?
And I mean, let's put things into perspective. We blew them out the way we're supposed to.
Right.
You could clearly see that some of the backups had no idea what they were doing. The play to Elliott looked just as the play to Schultz. They didn't cover either one of them. They're still not close to covering those. So you could see where, especially number 20 in the defensive backfield for Washington, he was never on his man.
Right.
He always looked lost.
And they were playing backup linebackers.
Yes,
too.
they were. There was a lot of backup stuff going on. But what it gave you a chance to do was to clarify what you need to do offensively. This is what it's supposed to look like. And when you talk about Zeke's running, the running is not spectacular, but it's effective because it's moving the chains.
Yes.
And we're getting enough on first down and second down to where they have to respect that run, and they're bringing that safety down. We just want to bring that safety down. Once he comes down, then we're going to feast on the outside. So I'm loving it. So
sort of like the problems when you have your fourth quarterback starting last night for the Saints and a backup right tackle. How's that guy in the league?
They played 57 different players.
Yes, on the
Saints.
Did they say
it was like this a record
in the
It's a
game?
record. No, meaning all season they because of the
they played more than that, I'm sure.
in regards to
no starters? I think. They said.
Starters.
Yes.
Starters.
Yes.
There you go. Starters.
Yes.
Okay.
57. That's a record. That's a record. I think the Redskins are right behind them.
That's like the Rangers pitching staff. They've gone through some seasons where they've used 57 starters, I think.
That was
maybe not starters, but 57 pitchers.
That's enough. Pitchers alone.
And I think the worst part for Ian Book was he didn't find out. I don't know if he got a practice or two in, and then they couldn't block. They were 0 for 9 on third down at one point.
They had one. They actually gained positive yardage once.
Once.
On
Positive.
third down. Positive yardage.
Yes.
Not first down.
So-
just positive yardage.
So even though they didn't have a book on the Saints quarterback, they handled them pretty well.
Here we go.
The poor right tackle couldn't block anybody. They tried to diagram one play on why the blitz got there, and they were talking about the inside guy, circling around. And I'm going, all you do is look at the right tackle. He blew his block. The guy went right around him like
He sure did.
like he was a tombstone.
He sure did.
It's like, I don't care what kind of game they played inside. If that guy didn't get him, that guy was going to get him. Oh, poor Sean Payton. And then he couldn't get a break on calls.
Yeah, they were dogging him.
Yeah.
It's something about the Saints. We fuss all the time, Cowboys.
Yeah.
About getting bad calls.
He's
the
right
Saints
there.
They're the most consistent team in getting the worst calls.
He
from
must
the
have
referee.
been on that competition committee and gave a bunch of those officials bad grades.
He
or
had so
something.
much to do before the half. He wanted to fuss at one of his players and get that straight. And before he did that, he's like, hey, come here. He's
Yeah.
talking to the referee.
Right.
And we got to talk because he had just given a bogus call.
And he wasn't talking, he was yelling.
Yeah, he was.
All right, there's more from that legal pad of Mickey's that we're going to get to, and Mick Shots continue in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Head to AT&T Stadium on Saturday, January 1st to experience Rally Day presented by SeatGeek. Get ready to cheer on your Dallas Cowboys with tours of AT&T Stadium, appearances by the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and alumni, ticket giveaways, games, inflatables, and more. Get excited for game day. Visit AT&TStadium.com/rallydays for tickets and more information. And I don't know that the Cowboys could get 93,400 and change into that stadium more excited than they were on Sunday night.
Big crowd.
Yeah, I was. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as Jerry said when he was asked about the crowd today on his fan report, he said, they were so excited they were eating the popcorn boxes, not just the popcorn.
This man is crazy. He has got the most. Wait, a wordsmith. Yes, he's like you. He's his
not
own
just
wordsmith.
the popcorn, right?
He's his own wordsmith.
I was doing live shots yesterday in the Plaza, Tostitos Championship Plaza.
Yes,
a lot of activity there yesterday. A lot of fans just hanging out and basking in the glory of a victory Monday. And one little kid came up to me and I said, "So what do you think of that game yesterday?" "Hey, Dak won my fantasy football championship for me." So
that's all that matters.
Looks full right now.
It's about a 12-year-old kid.
And what were you doing out there, Bill?
Well, I'll get to that in just a second. From a fantasy football perspective, okay, it's crazy right now as people that play fantasy football out there. I'm in 3 leagues, and I literally don't pay attention to these teams all week long.
Well, why are you in it?
I got a family one, I've got a neighborhood one, and I've got one here at Cowboys TV, okay? And so it literally is right before kickoff before I each week look at the lineup and realize, oh, I got to make these adjustments, okay? So somehow I was in in 2 leagues, I was in the semifinals this past Sunday. And so nice. I look at my team, and I went, on one of my teams, I had literally 6 guys in my starting lineup who were out, COVID or injury or whatever. And so I just had to start picking up guys off the waiver. Okay, let me show you. I picked up Damian Harris, the New England running back, who for some reason was out there. He got 28 points. I picked up Justin Jackson. He got me 30 points.
Wow.
The only guy that I really had on the team was T. Higgins, Cincinnati. He got me 40 points.
Yes,
I picked up Joshua Palmer of the Chargers. He got me 12.8 points. Dawson Knox of the Bills, because Kelsey was out. He got me 8 points, whatever. And I just blew away my opponent.
Nice.
On both of those.
So what does that tell you?
I don't know.
It tells you don't have to study hard to be a winner at that crap.
That's right.
It's all fantasy.
That's it.
It is.
I never got into that.
I never did either. It's
did.
just really in the last 5 to 7, 8 years, something like that. I
tried.
We have a neighborhood fantasy draft party, and then everybody in the neighborhood just forgets about it all
It's
season.
so
basically,
nerdish. It's bringing the nerds into sports. That's what it's doing.
I tried that,
which is a good thing.
One summer with baseball when it was, and I don't remember what it was called. Somebody quit a league, and a buddy of mine said, "Oh, you can take it over. It's a lot of fun, right?" Well, it's all based on percentage, right? And you have your roster. It's not fantasy. You got to manage your roster. So I would be stubborn. It's like, well, that's the best pitcher. He's got to go, And then you leave him in 1 inning too long, and the percentages catch up with you, right? And I would stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning playing these games, trying to make up. And I'm going, never again.
Never.
I'm too competitive.
Yeah,
I can remember when I was coaching that junior high softball team, fast pitch girls. I'd be at work scribbling out.
I do that.
My lineup, right?
Oh,
the batting
I
order.
did the exact same thing.
And it was like. And this was real. I can't imagine what I do.
I did the exact same thing. You'd set that girls' softball lineup where you got a cleanup hitter in the 4-hole, and then you got another one in the 8th, and you got the bad hitter. You got it. There's a real strategy involved.
Did it make a difference?
Yeah. It did.
It did?
Definitely did.
Oh,
no
yes.
doubt.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Okay. But it was funny. It was hilarious as my wife and I were sitting in the den watching games, the noon games on Sunday. Yeah. She wasn't really watching. She was doing whatever. But I would shout every time, like, Justin Jackson scored a touchdown. I was going, this is amazing.
Like, who is that? They don't play for the Cowboys.
And I didn't even have my guy Rex Burkhead on the team, and he went for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Did you see that?
I just saw something that came
that was amazing, Bill.
on the TV, and they were doing a fantasy thing, and it was drafting available fantasy players going forward, and Burkhead was the number one guy.
31 years old, 9th year in the league, and
he's playing for the Texans. But he balled out. It's hard to play. It's hard to ball out in a losing situation.
And he was averaging.
They won.
And they kicked. But hell, he had 100-something yards.
He had 149 yards.
Yeah.
But I was going to play him.
He had 150 yards.
I'm the president of the Rex Burkhead fan club, and I didn't put him in my fantasy football lineup when I had to have
When's
somebody.
The last time he had 150 yards?
He's had some 100-yard games.
150?
No, that's the first time 150, yeah.
Come on, at 30
But
plus
the reason,
years old.
at 31 years old.
Come on.
Okay.
That was amazing.
2013.
That was amazing.
6th-round draft pick.
That was amazing.
We took Joseph Randall. Go ahead, Mickey.
So, since we've been talking...
So, wait. He wants Burkhead to be here now.
Right.
Forget Zeke. We got Zeke. Burkhead. No, who else did we get before Pollard?
No. Just as the third back in his role, just like he was with the Patriots. Tom Brady would take him in a heartbeat, especially with what's going on there.
Belichick
Can't get your buddies to release a guy and then play him.
That's what I wanted. Let's release Burkhead down there. Nick Caserio, the GM, of course, he was with the Patriots forever, and so that's why he wound up there. Nice. And he's coming off an ACL, too.
Houston has a big connection with Boston.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So since we've been talking about interceptions and takeaways, I noticed here on the latest NFL stats, the Cowboys are tied for second with a plus 14 differential.
Turnover differential.
Pretty good.
Differential.
That's right.
First is Green Bay at plus 16.
And how are they doing in the standings?
Green Bay? I think they've already clinched everything they can
number
clinch
one,
so far, right?
so far number
Except
one.
the number one seed.
So far,
So the number one seed in the NFC is plus 16, and the number 2 seed is plus 14.
Along with Indianapolis, which has got something to play for, except they are not going to have their quarterback.
He's out for 10 days.
10 days. Does that eliminate the second game, too?
I hate
the last
to
game?
ask who the backup is.
It's Sam Ehlinger.
Oh, it's Ehlinger. That's right.
I think he's number 2.
And they've got an important game this week.
I think Sam could play pretty well. I really do. He reminds me of Carson. Sometimes in a good way.
So check out. Here's the top teams in the turnover differential.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay, Indianapolis, Dallas, Buffalo, Arizona, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, New England. That's the top 8 before a team shows up that Denver, I don't know if they got a chance. I don't think they have a chance anymore in the playoffs. Obviously, Houston. Kansas City, the Rams are tied for 9th along with Seattle. And then comes New Orleans at 14th. So the only team, the Chargers still have a chance, I think.
Yes, the Chargers
Everybody
still have a chance.
And Philadelphia.
23 teams still have a chance.
The Chargers, Philadelphia are tied for 15th, and Miami's 18th, and Pittsburgh's 18th. Cincinnati's 20th. After that, it's all the also-rans, except for Vegas, because I still think they have. Oh, how about Baltimore? They're 29th. They're minus 10.
Too many gambles.
Right?
Too many gambles.
So anyway, but the Cowboys are first with 33 takeaways, and they are first with 25 interceptions.
Okay, the Colts, by the way, they play the Raiders on Sunday, and then they close at Jacksonville. So what a great story it would be. And Sam Ehlinger is the guy that's likely to start for the Colts against the Raiders. What a great story it would be if Sam Ehlinger is able to come in there and basically secure a playoff spot for the Colts with what all he had gone through this year. His brother died tragically in the spring right after he was drafted
I did not know that,
by the Colts. Yeah, it was a tragic situation
at UT, right?
He was reserve linebacker on the UT football team.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so Sam had to deal with that just as he had making the transition into the NFL. And he's a strong, high carry. Of course, he had lost his father when he was either in high school. I guess he was in high school or early on when he was at UT. Mm-hmm. But that would be a great story if Sam Ehlinger can lead them into the playoffs.
I promise you, I truly think he can. He's a solid quarterback. Had those problems at UT. I guess because he was going through so much. I had no idea that what he was going through, but I just thought he didn't play up to his potential, especially his last year there. And the way he plays, his size, the way he runs the ball, he's a lot like Carson Wentz. And if he could just stay away from those Wentz mistakes, I think he'll do pretty well. I think he fits well into that system.
How about lean on that running back? Jonathan Taylor.
That's what you do. Yeah. Just hand it off and go, man.
But he's got to be able to show enough throwing the football that defenses aren't leaning on that running back. Yeah,
I truly believe that he can. Yep. I really do.
Yep. All right, Mickey, got Mick shot to close us out with our final minute here.
I was trying to see if Ehlinger had any. He hasn't had
playing time.
You could talk to Mickey. Have it in here. Tyron Smith. Jerry Jones backed up Stevens' assessment on Monday this morning, saying he's betting that Tyron Smith is good to go. So
really,
they're counting on him. We'll find out more tomorrow when they go to practice. But
was not ready for that.
Jerry basically said that, and he was asked if he ever got to catch a pass as an offensive lineman. And he said, I got mine before I became a guard. I was a fullback.
Was he really?
Yeah. And he said practice was a lot easier as a fullback than being a guard and getting hit every play, every snap. So
now, back then, the fullback carried the football a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, remember...
there was a primary back was the fullback.
Because a lot of time, because technically Jim Brown was a fullback, right?
Wow. I never knew that.
Oh, yeah. And Green Bay, Horning was the tailback.
They called it a halfback, I think.
Jim
Taylor.
Jim Taylor of LSU was the fullback, and he was their leading rusher all the time. Now, Horning was the leading scorer because he'd kick field goals, too.
Walt Garrison ran for a lot of yards as a fullback.
Right. Here. 1 year, he led the Big Eight in rushing at Oklahoma State, believe it or not. I said, are you serious? And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, you were a fullback.
Hey, man, he could run. He could run.
That's right.
That's what I know.
And he'd run through a wall, too.
Right. Oh, by the way, they talked about Rayfield Wright catching his touchdown. They actually showed the video. Is that it?
And there's the headline right there.
Newspaper clipping and
confirmation. A tight end.
He was number 85. I saw the video.
Yes.
And it wasn't necessarily on the sideline. It was kind of like over the middle.
No, it was.
Who showed it?
NFL Network.
Okay.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, now, did they make the claim
that
Mickey
clarified
did?
that he was wearing number 85.
I think they listened to our show. And we tipped them off.
Clarified that it was a tight end.
They
not
knew it was a tight
tackle.
end, but just for the sake of the story itself, they called him an offensive
There you
tackle.
go. The fake news again.
Yeah,
right there.
But
you get the real story here.
They actually did say that he was. They want to continue the narrative.
Yeah, well, we have corrected and clarified the narrative
and
that actually Rayfield Wright was a tight end on that play.
And I passed the picture on to the Cowboys PR department that showed that he had the ball in his hand.
He sure did.
85.
85. He looked good.
Right?
He looked really good. He was lean.
He was a hell of an athlete.
Yeah, he was excited.
Think about that, and he ended up at. Was it Valdosta State?
He's Fort Valley?
Fort Valley.
Yeah, Fort Valley, Georgia. Yeah.
And
HBCU, man.
And that's where he
taking our shine.
And that's where he ended up in college, right? Because probably didn't have a lot of opportunities.
No, Fort Valley. No, he's at Fort Valley.
What do you think his playing weight was, even as a offensive tackle?
Ooh. I bet he was in the 260s.
I was going to say 270.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was 250.
Well, he was playing basketball.
He really did look good.
And the only reason he got that scholarship is he was already, as he told the story, he signed up for the military, and he had to pull strings for someone to allow him out of his military commitment to go to college. And whoever did that basically told him, when you go there, you got to finish. Otherwise, you're back in the military. And he ended up finishing, and they convinced him to play football. How about that?
I'm going to stay here, not going out there shooting. I'm going to stay right here in Georgia.
He said, I had a lot of incentive to stay in college.
He's one of the few black men. I'm going to stand in Georgia.
All right. Well, that was a good Mick shot to end on.
Yes,
there.
absolutely.
Only because it was my birthday. Yes, only because it was my birthday.
Started with a birthday and ended up on Rayfield Wright.
There you go.
Covered a lot of ground.
All right. And enjoy the rest of your birthday, Everson. You got big plans tonight?
Yes. Wife's taking me out, and just going to hang out a little bit.
Where are we going to meet you?
You see, I didn't say.
I know.
And by the way, on Everson's birthday on CBS 11 tonight, we've got an exclusive Everson Walls with Trevon Diggs.
Yes, that
we
was
surprised
fun.
Trevon Diggs in a Zoom interview yesterday.
We really did surprise him.
He did.
He was not ready for that.
No, he was not.
It was good to see him laugh and have a good time.
So at 6 and 10 tonight on CBS 11, we're showing that, and I think we're going to replay that tomorrow here on Mick Shots, if I can get permission, which I think I can.
That sounds good, and I'm going to use one excerpt from it in my story about Everson in his reaction to Diggs' 11th interception.
11th interception.
11 cupcakes
Can you
for
believe
11
they're here?
interceptions.
I can't believe he made 11 already. That's pretty cool.
All right, so we will see you tomorrow here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!